Alright, let's talk about Shorekeeper, the newest healer added to Wuthering Waves. And in this quick guide, I'm going to talk about her kit, build, rotation, so that way you know everything that you need to know before you roll. So let's start with her kit. So like Verena, Shorekeeper's outro busts the team's damage by 15%. It also gets the added benefit of allowing you to dodge every time you're hit up to 5 times, which can be really helpful for those multi-attack bosses. But her biggest buff to the team is her Resonance Liberation. When cast, it creates a field that buffs your team based on the amount of intros you can cast while it's active. With the initial cast, healing the team, stage 2 increasing the team's crit rate, and stage 3 increasing the team's crit damage. So you generally want to form your rotations to where you're able to cast 2 intros inside the field before getting on your main DPS. These buffs are based on Shorekeeper's energy recharge to where you need a maximum of 250%, but you do get 20% from Shorekeeper's skill as well as her echo. Since her kit is designed like this, you want to make sure that you have enough Concerto on Shorekeeper so that we can cast your support's intro. So let's quickly discuss a rotation so that we can make sure you have enough Concerto. You want to do 4 basic attacks into a hold attack, and then you want to cast her skill. Then you want to do another 4 basic attacks into a hold attack, and then cast her echo into her ultimate, which should then give you enough Concerto to be able to switch into your support, casting their intro. And for Shorekeeper's final skill, if you cast her intro while her ultimate is active, then she's going to be able to cast a butterfly, damaging the enemies, healing your team, and granting her 20 Concerto, allowing you to do less basic attacks while on her. This butterfly actually does a decent amount of damage, and it has a 100% crit rate when active, allowing you to run a crit damage echo. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about her build. So the main thing that she's going to want is 230% energy, because remember, to give the max buffs for your team, you're going to need 250% energy. But her final Forte skill increases her energy by 10%, and the new echo also increases her energy recharge by 10% as well. And this is better than the Bellborn Echo, which we previously used for healers. So now let's go ahead and discuss the ways that we can reach that energy threshold, starting with their signature weapon, which is specifically designed for Shorekeeper. So once this is fully maxed, you're going to have 77% energy. On top of that, it increases your HP, which Shorekeeper scales off of, it restores Concerto energy, and it boosts your team's attack if you heal with your skill. Due to that last part, this is not the greatest weapon for Verena, since she does not heal off her skill. Plus, she scales off attack. On top of that, this weapon is not even really necessarily needed for Shorekeeper, because it is not too hard to reach a 230% energy threshold if you have variation on your account, which most people might even have higher ranks, allowing you to get more Concerto energy, making it to where this weapon allows your team to get an extra attack buff and allows your Shorekeeper to be slightly stronger since it does not need as much energy recharge. But if you do get her signature weapon, you're generally going to need 1 3-cost energy recharge echo, allowing you to get a spectral damage echo, further increasing her damage. And for your 4-cost echo, you're going to want crit damage, that way you can further increase your intro skill. And for her 1-cost echoes, you're going to want HP to further increase her healing and her damage. And for her substats, you're mainly going to be focusing on energy recharge until you get 230%, then crit damage and HP. So now let's go ahead and discuss her skills. So the first thing that you want to focus on is her intro skill, because this will allow you to do the most damage. After that, you can focus on the HP nodes, which will further increase your damage and healing. And from here, you can focus on your Resonance Liberation, your skill, and your healing bonus nodes to further increase your healing, with the lowest priority being her Forte Circuit and normal attack, because these just slightly increase her damage. And lastly, do make sure to activate the middle nodes as soon as you can, so that way you have access to her full kit. Bringing us to her sequences, starting with sequence 1, which increases the range of her ultimate as well as extended duration. And when you cast her intro skill, her ultimate does not go away. This sequence is not necessary if you make sure that you're doing a rotation properly, but it is more of a quality of life because it does extend the range of the field. Her S2 is a big buff by increasing the team's attack by 40%. If you're a dolphin, this would probably be the point to where you want to stop. S3 allows you to get more Concerto while casting your ultimate, allowing you to do less basic attacks on Shorekeeper. But again, this may not be worth the price for another sequence. S4 just gives additional healing bonus, whereas S5 doesn't really do anything, but her S6 is very powerful, allowing her intro skill to have a 500% crit damage multiplier. And lastly, let's go ahead and showcase how she's going to look in a team. Let's take Changli out and Yinlin as an example, showcasing how you want to use a rotation inside a team so that way you can get max buffs. So you want to start out by using Changli out skill and then switching to Yinlin and using her skill. Then we get to Shorekeeper and activate her combo, to where we do 4 basic attacks into a hold attack and then activate her skill. Then we do another 4 basic attacks into a hold attack, into her echo, into her ultimate, allowing you to intro into her support, which is Yinlin. Now you can switch to your main DPS, activating their echo skill, and then switching back to your support, activating all of their buffs, and then activating their echo, allowing you to intro in on your main DPS, having Shorekeeper's max buffs, as well as their supports. Once you finish DPSing on your main DPS, you can then switch back to Shorekeeper, activating her intro. This will allow you to get a lot of Concerto energy to where you only need to do a few basic attacks as well as her ultimate and simply start the rotation once again. But with that should be everything that you need to know before you roll. So let me know down in the comments, are you rolling for Shorekeeper? Are you waiting for those future characters? But with that, I'll talk with you guys later.